on runway 28, on runway 28.
Right, let's try this again. Hopefully my microphone is working this time. I was getting kind of pissed off by the constant freezing and stuttering, and I saw that there were issues with the stream and I went back and checked the VOD. So I've had the 5000 IQ idea that since it seems to be the scenery that's causing problems, I'll just fly from somewhere with no trees and no buildings and no anything, because apparently the airport's not even really modelled in beyond the runway. And also the shit weather might help by blocking out some stuff. So anyway, we're going to do this, and I'm going to see if I can start this thing up. I've already got a couple things turned on. So let's see. Fuel.
On runway 28, on runway 28.
I don't know why it's doing this noise at me, but it's probably not a good thing. Aha, there we go. Yeah, I know. FSX has like a default voice warning system which you can't turn off. Or if you can, it's I don't know how to do it. It's not based on the aircraft. Let's crack this a bit and then go right engine start. It does it for me all the time, and I cannot figure out how to turn it off. It doesn't matter what I'm flying. It does it in a Spitfire, it does it in this, it does it in an airliner. Everything does it.
On runway 28, on runway 28.
Oh god, what the fuck was that? I thought the game was going to crash. Those two seem to have been the things that caused bad noises to happen, but I don't know why. We're just going to hope that the plane doesn't, like, blow up on me here. It's probably got something to do with all the layered scuff mods. I don't have any mods on this, I don't think. Right. We are going to put some power on. She takes a while to spool up. It was a little long coming off the ground there because I realized I had to switch out of position. Oh, look at the frame rate! It's so much better! Big think. Alright, 500 knots. Up we go. Up we fucking go. Can also pop that open. This thing is going to get annoying, so we can actually put that away and then get rid of it altogether. It's not like we need a shade. It's not very bright outside. And we're already at 20,000. It's 21,000 feet. Easy. What is this I'm flying? This is something I really badly want in DCS. Turn on the gun sight? I'm not actually sure how. Okay. Oh, there we go. You can turn the gun sight on. I just couldn't figure it out before. It is not much of a gun sight. It is very old school. So as we're about to pass through the sound barrier, let's go outside, flyby. So I'm flying the English Electric Lightning F Mark III. This was the first and only British designed and built Mark II capable fighter. Well, it's an interceptor, not a fighter. It's like a MiG-21 on steroids, basically. Same total lack of situational awareness, same ridiculous fuselage with, you know, massive engines and a small wing kind of layout. This thing has 2 engines. They're stacked vertically on top of each other. And it is just ridiculous how much thrust it has. So the MiG-21 BIS, without the yeet switch engaged, has a thrust-to-weight ratio of like, I think it's 0.7 something. The MiG-23 ML is 0.88. The Mirage is 0.88. The F-106 is like 0.76 or some shit. This thing's thrust-to-weight ratio is like 1.15, I think. But, when it's not, you know, loaded down with fuel tanks and everything. But it is just ridiculously powerful. Hey, CJ! So yeah, turns out the magic solution to avoiding stuttering and shit is to just fly from the Falklands, where there is no scenery to load because there are no trees and no buildings. Real 500 IQ hours here. So, the radar display on this module, I don't believe the radar itself is functional, but the display acts as like your navigation system as well, which I'm pretty sure it couldn't do in real life. It's neat to have, but I prefer to just not use that because it's kind of cheaty. You've also got a thing here that tilts a radar display up or down based on, I guess, how much glare there is outside. Oh, the fuel gauges are fucking working now. It's the Christmas miracle. And I think the floodlights automatically turn themselves off as soon as it gets bright enough outside, which is kind of weird. So we're going to come out of Afterburner now. We're doing Mark 1.4 in a climb, by the way. I'm not sure what the A under the gun sight means. It's, from memory, it's not actually technically a gun sight, it is an extremely primitive HUD, kind of like the Buccaneer, also kind of like the F-111 I was flying earlier. So, yeah, it means something, I'm just not sure what. I'm not sure about that, CJ, but I'll take your word for it. 45,000 feet. You know what, we got some fuel to play with. So earlier, before stream, I had this thing up to 68,000. And it will happily go up to 68,000. So if I go to the spot view, pause my track IR so that's not jittering all over the place. Look at this thing. Shiny indeed. 51,000, 52,000, still doing Mach 1.2, while climbing at more than 6,000 feet per minute. What missile is that? It's a red top. These also carried fire streaks typically, but this is carrying red tops. $56,000 We are starting to lose some speed and lose some climb rate. I'm having to pull the nose up much more. You can zoom it to 68,000 pretty easy, but once you start getting up there, it doesn't want to climb very much more. The highest altitude a Lightning is recorded to have achieved in real life was 88,000 feet in a ballistic climb. This thing was a rocket ship. It would out-accelerate an F-15 most of the way up. It's just stupid how fast this plane is. Which is why I love it, and I want it in DCS. Other than all these beautiful old systems, and the fact that we have 0 British aircraft other than the Spitfire in DCS right now, and this is a problem that needs to be addressed. Can't turn for shit. Apparently, actually, for its time and for its role, its turn wasn't that bad. I mean, it probably wouldn't really compare with a dedicated fighter or a 4th gen, but it was apparently not bad. Not at these speeds? Oh god, no. No, not at these speeds. Nothing fucking turns at that speed. And from up here we can indeed see that FSX models the curvature of the Earth. I don't know how well that comes out on stream, but I can definitely see it. I also now have no idea where the fuck Mount Pleasant is, and the cloud coverage is going to make it very difficult to find visually. Incidentally, I think I've got my cloud draw distance turned up to like 150, 200 kilometers, and you can see it cuts out quite, not close to me, but it seems very close, just because of how fucking high up I am above the clouds. Alright. We'll call it a day at 60,000 today. Now let's dump some altitude. I've got the stick pulled into my lap. It's pulling 6G. I think we may be overspeeding the engine slightly. We're just going to employ the cheaty navigation mode here for a minute, although I don't think I'm going to be able to even see the islands yet. This is the problem, the plane is so fucking fast, you get lost real quick if you don't have good visual references. Okay, we can pop the air brake away now. And put some power back on. There's some interesting graphical effects going on at the moment. The cloud layers are kind of clipping through each other. $5,000 Is that meant to be the sea beneath me then, or is that the bottom of the clouds? I think that might be fog on the sea. This particular module does actually have some basic effects related to the sound barrier. As you go through it, you get a bit of a not really a shot cone forming, but you do get some vapor. Yeah, that's the sea beneath me. It's just got a kind of haze over the top of it. forgive me here as I quickly open up the little map display so I can figure out where exactly I am. It's probably going to freeze the game when I do it, just as a heads up. Ah, okay, so I'm dead south of Mount Pleasant. That simplifies things quite a bit. Defecting to Argentina, I don't think I would have enough fuel to get to Argentina, even if I flew directly there. Let's get below this fog layer. Feet. All good. Still having issues with the trim bindings in FSX. I don't know how to fix them. I have to actually repeatedly hit the bind. I can't just hold it. It doesn't work that way, and it should. We got it kind of sort of trimmed. Well, it's an interesting design. I mean, you run into a couple problems. One is the potential for fires. Another is heat transfer between the engines, so they're actually staggered longitudinally as well. But the benefit you gain from this is that you get twice the thrust for 1.5 times the drag. So instead of having the additional drag of 2 engines side by side like you'd normally get, you've got 2 packed into a very small space. So it's a good trade-off if you can work around everything else. And then you also have the problem that the Lightning got retired for, which is there's no room for avionics, really. So this thing was flown by the RAF up until the, I believe, the late 80s. It was their primary interceptor for much of that time until the Tornado replaced it. But it has a very archaic radar set to work with and not a whole lot of advanced avionics, and there was just no room to put anything else. Because like the MiG-21, the radar is in the shot cone, and there's just not space for anything more. Okay, we're about to hit the southern end of East Falkland. Now, I don't know if there's any actual topography here, or if it's just a flat texture. Like, I don't know if the contours of the land are modeled. It seems like one of those places that unless someone made a dedicated scenery pack for it, there just wouldn't be any scenery. It'd just be a flat texture. So we will see, I guess. My fuel gauges are suddenly reading empty, but I do allegedly have fuel left because the engines haven't flamed out yet. I do have limited fuel turned on. I don't know if the gauges only read from above a certain amount or what the fuck. But, yeah, that is interesting. Oh, right as I say that. Right as I fucking say that, there goes the flame out. They are not relighting. We're out of fuel. Hey, Arabisector. No, I'm not in DCS at the moment. This is FSX again. Yes, I'm aware that there is bad things happening. Thank you. Oh, shit. Didn't even make the coast. God damn. Whoops. That is not what I wanted to do at all. That's what I wanted to do. Mount Pleasant's off to my left a little, but we've got no bullets. Well, there's nothing else for it. That actually exits the game, the ejection seat handle, which is an interesting feature. I don't know if it's the way I would do things, but it's an interesting feature. So yeah, that is the Lightning. It is certainly a nice plane to fly. I quite like it, and I really want one in DCS. I would be entirely happy if we got one of these instead of yet another fucking American 4th gen. I am so sick of good Cold War planes being put off or cancelled in favour of fucking more winged iPhones. No, CJ, that was Mount Pleasant. Stanley's, I think, too short for a Lightning. Fuck American 4th gens. The Mudhen can fuck off. I have no interest in the Strike Eagle. The only interesting thing about the Strike Eagle, well, there's two interesting things. One is that it might result, probably not, but it might result in an improvement to the F-15C flight model, just by virtue of being in the game. And the other thing is that it's a two-seater, so you'll be able to, like, fuck around with the person in the back. But that's it. That's the only reason it's interesting at all to me. What else have we got in here? I kind of want to do the F-111 again, but I kind of don't want to deal with the pain of setting up the weapons config. Oh, I know something that that Pom will enjoy. I know something Pom will enjoy. And this is probably gonna... We'll fly from somewhere else, but this is probably gonna cause issue. Actually, no. No, we'll stick with Mount Pleasant, but we'll just make the weather okay, so I can see what the fuck is going on outside. There we go, Pom. What do you think of this? I think you can see it. It's... I think OBS captures this window, but only part of it. The way this game works is very bizarre. We'll change to daytime. I'm not sure how to set that, to be fair. Unless it's something I do in-game, maybe? Yeah, I don't know how to set the liveries on it. Might be a thing I have to select in-game. Liveries in plane selection. Next window. Yeah, but I am in plane selection. It's not doing the thing. Like, I went to details and it didn't come up with the option. So yeah, we'll just fly. It's probably not going to be... Well, it will be running, but it'll probably shut itself down, and I have no idea how to start one of these. So I'm just going to do a little bit of FSX, a little bit of not speaking English, apparently, just to mess around with this, and I'll probably do some DCS afterwards. I was going to try and bind up the MiG-29, but then I remembered you've got to rebind every fucking MiG-29 or copy-paste the configs, which I can't be bothered to do. So we'll be flying the flanker again in growling sidewinders, probably. Is the engine going to stay running? That sounds good. That sounds promising.
On runway
The graphical quality of it is not up to the Lightning or the F111, but that's because this is a port, I think, from FS2000 or FS2004. Turn on the scope? I don't know if I can. I don't think everything in this is modeled. Like, there doesn't actually seem to be that much clickable stuff. Where is the fucking on button? I can't click any of the stuff around the edge of the scope. Or any of that, or any of that. Yeah, well, where's the button? See instrument panel lighting. On the scope? No, this is the Vertavia one.
On runway 28. On runway.
Yeah, I can't do any of that with the scope in this one. Actually, let's see. Can I see my own wings? No, it's like the F111 I've got, where you can't see your own wings, which is interesting. Airsoft has a much better one. I will have a look at that later then. Might be like the... Oops, that was totally the wrong button. It might be like the Spitfire, where it has its own in-game menu, although I kind of doubt it.
On runway 28. On runway 28.
No... This is probably going to crash the game. Okay, let's just leave that alone. Because I don't think that's going to do what I need. Fuck it. We'll do it live. This is the F106. Has like the world's most rudimentary vapes on it. Welcome to the sunny Falklands. This is why my game's not freezing, by the way. There is literally no scenery down here. Barely even any 3D topography. Seems to handle quite nicely. Fly from Wake Island. Alright, you know what? Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh, okay, that was a bit more violent than I wanted it to be. Yes, it does. It is extremely responsive in, like, the way that you don't want. Holy shit. Roll rate seems relatively tame compared to both the MiG-21 in DCS and the Lightning in this. Mind you, once I slow down it might boost a little. Remind me later, Pom, to look up the other one, the whatchamacallit aero thing. They're the same ones that made the Lightning, so yeah, if it's up to the same level of detail as the Lightning, that will be a good one to grab. And the Lightning was actually a lot cheaper than I expected it to be for, like, that level of detail. Like, cheaper than an on-sale fucking DCS module, which says a lot of things about ED's business practices, in my opinion. Okay, we'll go for the long runway because I'm going to need it. Which is almost impossible to see from up here. Yeah, you can get some actually cool planes in this. And also navigating. It's probably trying to load in. There's like probably 10 buildings in Stanley, and it's shitting the bed because it's trying to load them in. Stream keeps freezing. Yeah, it's the game. This is why I'm flying from the Falklands, to try and minimize that. Because anytime it tries to load the scenery, which it does constantly, it freezes the stream, it freezes my track IR, and this is why the music bot's not going as well, because it also freezes the music bot.
Flaps.
There are no flaps. Oh, the fucking radar.
Approaching. 28. Too fast. Too fast. Unstable. Unstable.
Oh, shut up. I cannot see around this fucking radar. I think I'm over the runway. That was a very hard landing, but we were indeed on the runway at least. And now we're going in the water. Oh man. Land via ILS almost always. Yeah, see, I'm going to be allergic to that because I fly by eye. TLAR is the only way to go. Alright, let's change this to Wake Island. To be fair, it's like if there is scenery on Wake Island, it is going to freeze me really badly.